half tie them because Channing's going to slide in between your legs and tie them for you. I'm like, all right, do I regret it now? Aye. I could have made an impact in that game, and obviously he didn't. So if I go through my WhatsApp with Ryan Reynolds, honestly, it's just video after video. It was 3 games in a row I'd scored the winner. First message wasn't the wife, it was him. I'll openly admit, when I was at Hibs, I wanted to sign for Celtic. They wouldn't let me go.
You did well to avoid that.
Steven Fletcher, ex-footballer, current footballer, pro golfer. What are we? Where are we in your life right now?
I'd say golfer, not pro golfer. I'd say golfer.
Well, what are you, 3? You're on the way.
3.9.
3.9.
No point to that one.
No? Bad round?
And my last one was a bad round. I'm taking a few days off. That's why I'm here.
What's happened in football?
I've not made a decision. It's
I think the clubs have made a decision for you.
Oh, I get put through the door.
Do you make that decision, or do you wait for the offer to be big enough, good enough, and then?
It's not even about. Well, it always is about that, but it's not. It's something that.
It's got to be worth it.
It's got to be something. Yeah, because before I signed for Wrexham, I was in this situation after Dundee United, and I didn't actually know if I wanted to carry on. And then Wrexham came. It was about September, I think it was. I was on the golf course, funny enough. And when I got the phone call, someone in me was like, "That looks good. Why not?" And I've had a few phone calls recently, and they've just not done that.
So does Scotland interest you then?
No, I came up for the Dundee United one, and not say that I regret it because I really enjoyed my time there with the lads and that. It was good. Obviously, it wasn't a great season, but I don't want to. I think that door's closed, and I just want to. If someone in England came up or abroad, because I've been working on the tan, as you can see. Do you know what I mean? So if something abroad comes up, but no, I don't know. I'd say I'm probably about 95% done. It's just that little 5% of me sitting there thinking. It's hard to push the button and say that's me done. You've all done it.
So you felt that before the last time, then you get that call from Wrexham. What was different then?
I knew I wasn't ready to retire then, but I was in a, what would you say, a bad place. You know what I mean? After that season, coming off the back of that season, I was like, my kid, it's the first time I've kind of been in Scotland with my kids. They were settled at school and stuff, and I thought, maybe I just retire now and kind of be a taxi for the rest of my life with the kids. But then I got the phone call, like I said, and something inside me was like, go and do it. So I did. Good 2 years.
I mean, and that's mad down there with the whole, Wrexham was sort of rolled on and the owners and whatever. So what was your sort of first impression going into that?
When I first went down, it was League Two, and that alone was an eye opener because you go to some places and you're like, this is going to be tough for you. You can just tell straight away.
Yeah, Lincoln, definitely.
You can just tell straight away.
Did you go to Lincoln?
Aye.
Did you see his statue?
I've seen it, it was nice, aye. They unveiled it to me before I came up.
See the list of managers, they got managers all along, and then the year he was there, it's whipped down off the wall.
There wasn't a tear.
Is it gone? Is it gone?
But just being about that place, you could tell something was happening. You could just tell, and then, it was like I don't know. I think one of my first games we were getting beat 1 or 2-0 at home. I was sitting on the bench at the time. I probably was sitting on the bench quite a lot, didn't I? But I was sitting on the bench at the time and I was thinking, oh no, this isn't a great start, is it? And the boys next to me are like, oh, don't worry, we'll win. And I'm like, what do you mean? No, like, trust me, this place, we were at home and they were like, we'd something about this place, it just... And we'd done it quite a few times that year. We went 1-0 down maybe at home and I was thinking, I started to believe it. I was like, don't worry, lads, we're all right. We'll win. And we did.
I think when you're at a club like Wrexham who have invested heavily, it's the infrastructure that then becomes the issue, isn't it, for the players and the club, and you sort of grow where you are. And I think they will have that problem now. They're in the Championship. They don't have a training ground and still based at the stadium and that. But what I've liked about it is, and only knowing yourself and James McLean, people like that, Phil's done a brilliant job in terms of bringing the right characters and the right type of people, because it's easy to go and get the big names and splash big money because they can do that if they wanted. But I look at the team spirit over the last 2 or 3 years. It looks like it's been unbelievable, and it looks like you've had a good time, but also you've won leagues and getting promoted has been amazing as well.
It was a great dressing room. It's easy for me to say that it was one of the best dressing rooms I've been in because it's so raw and it was just then. And because I've been in a lot of dressing rooms, but honestly, I've never been in one that was so. Even when I went in, I was thinking, these boys are close. Do you know what I mean? There's normally a few little groups. And they were all of them were just together, and I was like, this can't be right. Something's going to.
Does that come from
something's
owners?
going to crack soon? Nah, I think that's from the manager.
Right.
He like Charlie was saying, he brings in the right people at the right time, and he's done it every year. Obviously, I was there 2 years, and he was bringing in people, and you were thinking, oh, could this one upset the changing room? And never. They just fitted in straight away.
How important a role does the owners have, though? How hands-on are they?
Oh, massively. They're there all the time. All the time. For a wee spell last year where I think there was a few things they were doing with filming and stuff, they can't be there. But when they can be there, they're there. And if they're not there, they're on the phone to you constantly. I was saying...
On the phone to you?
You know, they'll phone you, they'll send you...
Get them on the phone.
They'll send you video messages and everything. If I go through my WhatsApp with Ryan Reynolds, honestly, it's just video after video. So I went through a little patch last season. I kept coming on with like 20 minutes to go. It was 3 games in a row, I'd scored the winner. And I'd get in the change room, you know what you do? You get in, you go on your phone straight away. And the first message wasn't the wife, it was him. Straight away. It was him straight away, a big video message. I think he'd done it as soon as you score, he was straight on, send it. And honestly, some of the
It's
things...
brilliant, though, that.
It's brilliant. It's good. You get in, you know it's coming, you get in, you're like, right, wait for it, and then bang, yeah, he's the first one that's texted you. And,
Did you ever banter him back on the?
I think that's why Ryan liked me, because when he come in the change room, quite a lot of boys were like, oh, there's Ryan, do you know what I mean? Like, how you doing? I would just shout across the change room to him, like, big man.
Typical Scottish, no giving it
Big man, how you doing? And he would just be like, And then Rob as well, he loved his golf as much as I did, so he invited me in the summer there. We obviously went to Vegas for the off-season thing, getting promoted. And after Vegas, all the boys flew home, but me and Elliot Lee flew to LA to meet the owner, to play a few rounds of golf with him, so it was quite good. Just little things.
Did he
like
tell
that.
you before that or after that you were getting released?
No, so in the buggy, he begged me to stay. 2 days later, I get released. I was like, he sucked me right in.
Who won the golf?
Who did win the golf? I think we Charlie Day won. You know, wee Charlie Day?
Yeah.
A wee Charlie won. I think he was a good golfer, actually.
Yeah.
I hit it a mile for a wee guy.
I want to go right back to the start where you at Hibs. You're obviously coming through that golden generation as such at Hibs. How good were they when they were young boys?
Ah, good. It was a great group. I was the youngest at them all.
Yeah.
I was the youngest. Well, maybe Louis Stevenson, but he came in a wee bit later. But I was the youngest at them all, and they all looked after me. To be fair, Whitty was probably the one that looked after me the most. You couldn't really have Broony looking after you, could you? I wouldn't be here the now.
Or O'Connor, or Reardon.
Aye. So
And Tom would have sent you to sleep.
exactly. Aye. So it was pointless me talking to him. It was good. It was good. Broony was my strike partner at the time. Broony was a striker, and I used to come in. I used to get a half day off school on a Wednesday and go and play with him. And it was up front with Broony. When he let him to kick me, to be fair, he used to look after it. But Whitty, when I went into the 18s and that, Whitty was the one that kind of used to come and pick us up for the digs.
Good player, Whitty.
Oh, he was, brilliant.
Brilliant, both
Probably
feet, wasn't he?
could play.
2 feet.
Should just
He
dribble
played
it.
3 or 4 different positions.
You wouldn't actually know what foot he was if he didn't tell you.
No,
The
he
way
was
he
good.
dribbled with the ball. And we had a good mix at that in the first team. I got in the first team quite early, which was good. Made a good mix of like the kind of older lads and them.
How, you hear about older guys having egos as such in the dressing room, but you've got to say, like, that group of players, for being so young, you did carry yourselves as like older guys. And I mean, you listen to some of them speak now, and even like coming up against like Celtic and Rangers team, didn't care, fearless.
Aye. I think that was part to do with. I broke out a team under Bobby Williamson, but I think when Morgan came in, he
Changed that mentality.
he
didn't
changed that.
Yeah.
He drove that. So we were going into games thinking
We're going to win.
we're going to win this.
Mhm.
We were going to Celtic Park thinking we've got a chance of winning this. Probably overly thinking we actually are going to win this. And it was just the way Morgan set us up, to be honest with you. And then obviously Vino as well. Vino used to think he could get a game for us, to be honest with you.
On you go, sorry.
So out of all the players there at that time, the young players, who was the one who stood out for you? Because you had a lot of good players.
There was, if I'm being honest, probably Tomo. Everyone obviously would probably expect me to say Broony, but Tomo had that, especially when he was first coming through that Hibs, he had that swagger about him and the way he would like pass the ball, and he almost like, it reminds me of like the way when I first went down south, the way the midfielders then they would just wrap the ball in. Tomo was doing that on a regular basis. Broony was just a Duracell bunny at that time. And
With his Rangers strip on.
and then I think Broony then slowly realised, obviously when he dropped back into midfield, it was probably better for Broony. But I would say Tomo, when I was younger, I thought, oh, he's a top player.
Yeah. It was a good team, to be fair. I mean, you go back and obviously won the League Cup as well. You got a double on that.
Aye.
How important, even for that, like winning? I mean, it was obviously a difficult period under John Collins at the end of that for a few of them as well. But getting your hands on silverware for Hibs must have meant a lot to you as well.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was probably. I probably thought after that, this is what my career's going to be like. I'm going to start winning trophies all the time. Well, that slowly didn't happen. But it was great at that young age to be able to play a cup final and obviously scoring. I think the result probably flattered us a wee bit with 5-1, but I think we just kind of blew them away a wee bit with the way we had Big Benji up front who used to bully everybody, and we Zamama as well.
Good player.
We had a good mix of. Do you play the wee man at Middlesbrough?
He came in, he came in. He was a good player, tidy in the ball.
He was just tiny. Yeah. But no, it was winning that trophy at a young age was good, but then I had a taste for it and never ever got it again.
And how important was that sort of the young Scottish contingent? Because a lot made of Dundee United in the week. No Scottish players. I mean, was that something which you talked about, thought about, just got on with it?
I think at that young age it wasn't even a thing that we even thought about. Do you know what I mean? It was just we thought we were better than the boys that they had in, and we thought we deserved to play. So it wasn't even I don't think we thought about that at the time, but I know it's become a big thing with that Dundee United squad. But
I think like for you now talking, and probably in that Hibs group, if you're coming through in this 4 or 5 years, you are probably saying to these old firm boys coming through, because I was a little bit, just a year older than you, so I obviously played.
Oh, you are a year older?
I am.
You'd never have guessed, man.
40 in December, I am.
40 in December.
So I'm only a year, but
I had round wheels, he had squares.
But what I was saying is that, do you know, like, you've got that mentality that Hibs boys said, well, we're better than any of these young old firm players coming through, and ultimately, like, obviously Broony and Tom will end up going to Rangers and Celtic, but it becomes not rivalry, but it's a drive to get you to, because they two are the biggest clubs in Scotland at that time coming through, so it's a drive for you then to, can we get to the old firm, really? That's the mindset you have in it.
Yeah, 100%. I openly admit, when I was at Hibs, I wanted to sign for Celtic. 100%.
You had a bid, didn't you?
It was in the January. Stratton tried to sign me in the January, and they wouldn't let me go. And then I wanted to go in the summer.
You did well to avoid that.
Rangers won the league that year.
Yeah. But before that, did you know of Real Madrid knocking the door as well?
Apparently so. No one ever
Where did that come about from?
We played.
Was it the Euros?
We played Spain in the
19s.
But you and Snoddy missed the final.
I get booked in the semis for diving. Never dived in my life.
Yeah.
Stumbled. I wouldn't have stumbled. I think the under 19s coach also done Real Madrid or something. I played well in that tournament. I was top goal scorer in the tournament or something. And next minute,
Was there ever any contact?
To go to the youth team, not to go anywhere near the first team.
Yeah, but
it was to go into the youth team. But I was playing first team football at the time, so I was like, can't really like first team football to go back to. Like,
were you gutted that transfer to Celtic didn't materialise?
At the time, 100%. At the time, and then in the summer, I thought, because I did get told you can go in the summer. They just didn't want to sell me in the January apparently. So I was like, all right. So I just thought from then on, I'm going to Celtic, and then Owen Coyle phoned me.
That was it.
And that was it. To be fair, I was obviously brought up in England from a young age until I was 10, so I went to Liverpool games when I was a kid.
Also a mascot?
I was mascot,
What game? Do you know it was a mascot Liverpool game?
Liverpool Newcastle.
6'3".
Paul Lynch walked me out when I played with his son after it. So that was a bit weird.
That's amazing.
You know with the Celtic thing though. So Celtic coming through. I mean, I don't know you that well, but it says a lot about you that you didn't kick up a stink. You just got your head down, carried on. Because a lot of people would.
I probably did.
Social media back then wasn't
strong,
was it?
I think I did to the owner.
Right.
Because I felt like you're stopping me from doing what I want to do. And he would, to be fair, he was like, no, listen, you can go in the summer. And he did let me go in the summer, just not to Celtic. But I think Burnley put in a better offer at that time.
Did the way that Scott Brown and Kevin Thompson transfers materialised have an impact on the way that you behaved? Because I don't think when you go back then, and obviously there was problems in the dressing room and they went to the owner's house, or that's what it was like.
Yeah, I was too young for that. I know all that was going on, but I was never I don't think they'd have let me come. Imagine me hanging it behind them all. Like, what's he doing?
No, I mean for yourself.
Yeah,
that had obviously happened beforehand, and then they were able to force a move through. Was it ever in the back of your mind?
Maybe the owner was just like, well, 2 have gone, I'm not letting a third one or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad the way it worked out, because I got to go down and play in the Premier League, and that's what kind of.
Well, let's move forward to that. Moving from Hibs to Burnley, was it a big shock? Was in terms of the standard and everything as well?
It was scary going down on your own, because I went from like I was living in digs at Hibs, even when I was in the first team, and they were like to me, "No, you need to move into a flat now." And I was like, "I don't want to. I want to stay in my digs." Because I love the digs. They were like, "No, you've been in the first team now for a year. You need to go." So I got to stay in the digs for another year, and then I moved into a flat with obviously he's my best mate, Jinky. That
was that right next to the stadium, wasn't it?
Aye. So we literally just used to wake up and walk across the road. So I was only in a flat for like a year and a half, 2 years maybe, or a year and a half, and then so I'd only lived on my own, and I didn't really live on my own. I was with my best mate, so it wasn't too bad. And his mum used to come up and clean the flat all the time, so it was good. But then moving down to England, I was literally on my own then. I was like, oh.
Who looked after you there?
Nobody. Just
on your own.
That was Tom on Greza and all that in that dressing room.
We had a good group, which helped me, because obviously I'd played with Greza in Scotland and stuff, so I knew him. And
There's a lot of Scottish players at that time there, wasn't
there? Tomo was there. Who else was there?
Kev McDonald.
Kev McDonald with my Brian Easton signed the same day as me, so that helped us both of us went down at the same time. So I did have people down there, but I literally was in my house on my own. But Coyle helped me so much. Yeah. I used to book my flights for me to come back home, and he would fly back up with me.
Was he trying to tell you something? Trying to get rid of you? Trying to send you back on the road?
So obviously, for instance, when we were going to Arsenal away or whatever, he'd be like, "Have you booked your flight?" And I'd be like, "No." And he'd be like, "Right, I booked it for us. We're on the whatever flight after the game." And I'd be like, "All right, straight."
Amazing. What's about, so you obviously had a successful spell at Burnley. You then got another move as such. You know, yous have all had, I know we'll move on to Sunderland in a bit in terms of the biggest move, but we've all, used to especially, have had big moves. What pressure comes with, in terms of the fees rising to, what was it, 6 odd million to Wales, and then you go for 12 million. Do you feel more pressure?
I think I was too young to even worry about it, to be honest with you. Because I was only at Burnley for one season. Obviously, we got relegated and I got to move straight away. So it was kind of like...
It's a dream scenario. There's loads of strikers at that one where you score a few goals and then you get a move and then...
No, it was. I've done it 3 times in a row, so I done it with Sunderland as well. But I didn't really think about the fees at the time, because I think it was because I was so young and I'd only been at Burnley a year and then moved again. I just thought, I'm just moving down the road a wee bit further.
Yeah, but you obviously, you had a big move, and you've spoken about it since. It was a difficult period. Liverpool with the same big moves.
I think you don't look at the price tag. I think you just look at the environment you're going into, the size of the club, obviously. And I think for me, coming through at Rangers helped me go from Blackpool to Liverpool, because I understood it was a big club. The pressure was playing with better players, and the quality of player. I think it took me a month, 6 weeks before I actually felt settled within it. Because every pass, subconsciously in your mind, you're thinking, does he actually think I'm any good? Or every time I gave the ball away, I was thinking, he's looking at me and thinking, why have we signed him? And that's just because of the level of type of player it is. But once you get comfortable and you get the pre-season out of the way, and it's you just start to play your own game and then start to play. But no, the transfer fee never ever really come into my mind. It was just, that's part of what the game was. Do you know what I mean? But it's a massive experience to go from a club like Blackpool to Liverpool was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, my biggest one, although I moved for 10 from Blackburn to Chelsea, was Norwich to Blackburn, and I'd say the pressure was different, because at Norwich at that particular time, we'd finished third in the Premier League, we'd beaten Bayern Munich in the UEFA Cup, and we were a good team, but there wasn't the expectation to beat Liverpool. Not for you go and play Liverpool, nobody expects you to win, and we sometimes did. Manchester United, there's not that level of expectation. And then, I moved for 5 million in '94.
So equivalent of what now?
Which, with recent inflation, about 150 million.
150
million. So a lot. That would be a lot. But then moving to Blackburn, I mean, Blackburn were, maybe you would compare them back in the mid-90s with, say, Manchester City and their spending at the start. They had an owner, Jack Walker, who was spending at the time, and Blackburn were hoovering up the sort of best young talent around. Shearer had signed for £3.5 million. Graham Lasso, a guy called Paul Warhurst, who was an excellent player. Tim Sherwood, Tim Flowers. So it's like David Batty, another one, tenacious midfielder, brilliant player he was. So and Blackburn were then building. They got themselves promoted, pushed Manchester United close to the previous season, and then they signed me, and then they.
Managed to do it.
Mainly because of the guy I was playing with in truth, and we had two good wingers. But there was pressure in terms of myself moving, and where I was scoring goals at Norwich and doing well there. As soon as I moved to Blackburn, people were questioning. I was getting a lot of praise at Norwich. People then were questioning, as is natural. Is he worth the £5 million back then? And maybe looking back, I was a young man, 21 years old. Maybe I thought about it a bit, but I think that's natural. When I was younger, I mean, you can't get me off the radio or the telly now. But when I was sort of first doing the press and the media, you weren't sort of taught how to handle that and whatever. And looking back, that's something which I wish I sort of would have learned to handle a little bit sort of better and what have you. But it was what it was, and went on to do okay at Blackburn.
Yeah. We know you've done okay there. Let's talk about the next one.
No, a similar thing, but then I was sort of more. I was more mature, maybe not so mature, but more experienced. And the thing is, you move for big money. You're a striker. You're expected to score goals.
Do you think that adds the pressure then? Obviously, because the three of you are strikers. Does that add pressure to your value or what they pay for you?
I don't think that I mean, my performances would suggest otherwise, but I don't think that was in my mind. When I moved from Blackburn to Chelsea, because I'd experienced that move from Norwich to Blackburn. Norwich to Blackburn was a bigger sort of transfer in many respects. But, when you're a striker, it's easy. Sort of, we know, us three know the sort of pressure of being strikers. Okay, sort of playing in midfield and getting on the not and sliding a nice pass. But that's
easy,
not where,
isn't it?
that's not where the pressure is.
It's the hardest bit of scoring the goals, isn't it?
And you don't do it, and you get
judged on that, don't you?
But that's the game, and I understood that. That is what it is.
Yeah, but I think on the flip side, you've got that. Whereas if you go and score a few goals, all of a sudden you become a hero again, and you were able to do that at Wolves as well.
I done it at Wolves. I think the hardest point for me was coming back for injuries. That was when everyone's like, "Oh, he's back now. Is he going to hit the ground running?" Expectation of, come on, he's back. You're back fit now. You should be able to just go out and score goals. That's where I struggled.
So you put pressure on yourself then?
I think so, yeah, because I was a terrible, when I was injured, I was terrible to be about, especially in the house and that. Do you know what I mean? Because it was stuff. I broke my ankle that I'd done. I was out for 8 or 9 months, and then trying to come back from that, I probably rushed myself back because I was almost thinking, what are other people thinking about? He should be back by now. So you
say you're terrible. Back. What was in terms of what was terrible?
Oh, just in that moods and all that in the house. I know I was terrible to live with at that time. She even talks about it now, saying I would never go back to that, just because of it was my first ever big injury.
Yeah.
And I was like, if anything, my career at that point was just doing that. So then I got that injury, and I'm probably openly admit it went like that straight after it. So it was tough.
It's amazing now. We've all I was very fortunate. I never had big injuries, but had small injuries. But for you, it was a big injury at 8-9 months. Did you think that you could have had the help, now as a senior player or former players, to help younger players now being able to get through that? Because if you have ACL or you have, bad ankle injury, did you get the guidance that you thought you could have, or do you think that would have helped you maybe get through the moments of tough times?
Yeah, it would have helped. Yeah, I got the support in with the physios and that. I got good support with them. It was probably myself taking myself away from the place. Don't get me wrong. I was on my kind of latter stage of me coming back fit. I had Canio as the manager, and he was kind of wanting me to come back too soon. I thought it was too soon. Rushed myself back. Got injured after the first game. I came on and scored and done my ankle in the celebration.
How do you do that?
Doing a stupid knee slide, my ankle went into a flexion, and I was like, "Oh no, what have I done?"
And then they were out again.
And what was Canio like as a manager?
He was
Rush players back from injury.
Yeah. Do you know what? He was great on the training pitch. See, coaching and that, he was intense.
Yeah.
But I think everyone who knows the kind of knows he's intense anyway. That's just the way he is. But I just think man management, maybe I had a wee chip on my shoulder at the time. Anyway, I was a wee bit raging. I wasn't really in a good place because I'd been it for so long. We didn't really click at all. We clashed, if anything. And then it made me worse. So then when I did come back, I was probably coming back.
Did you put too much pressure on yourself?
Probably, yeah. And then he was putting pressure on me to get back fit. Physios were then like, probably putting pressure on the medical team as well. Like, come on, when's he back?
Mm-hmm.
And we never clicked at all. We didn't click from day one for some reason.
It's amazing how you get managers like that.
And so at the start of your career to when you sort of, you might still carry on, but do you think that the sort of the way managers speak to players has changed in that dressing room environment? Has it been a noticeable change to you or not? Is it
to me? The way I am, or the way that
or the way that managers are. Your experience at at Hibs, the early days. And
I think it's just the respect of what they give you. They kind of see what you're like about the place. Because I wasn't the way I was my last 5-6 years. I wasn't like that as a young boy. But then I kind of took it upon myself to kind of try and help everyone else. And I felt like I kind of took it. It helped me because I was helping other people. It helped me as well. I don't know why, but it did. And I relaxed a little bit more rather than having that my back up all the time and wanting to snap at somebody as soon as somebody says something. I kind of relaxed a little bit because I wanted to help people on the training pitch, off the pitch. By the end of it, I was basically like player liaison, as well as like training with the boys. You know what I mean? So, but I enjoyed that. I took that upon myself. It was good.
I think that gives you comfort. I say comfort, but when you're no playing, I think you realise that, like, if, for instance, you help boys during the week, come a Saturday you're not playing, but you obviously want to play. But when you do come on the pitch and you score goals and you get that opportunity, I think it gives you more of a satisfaction than there it is that I'm not playing again. But you find a way of like, I've helped him during the week, or I've done that, to then come a Saturday that you know what's, and Phil Parkinson will say to you, you know what they're going to get Steven Fletcher for 20 minutes, 30 minutes to help the team, and you know that he knows that you're not going to kick off with that. So it gives you that satisfaction in your life and what you know you can do on the pitch. I think
that's why Phil kind of liked me, because I never really kicked up a fuss that I wasn't playing. Not that I didn't want to play.
No, I
kind of knew my role by the end of it. I kind of knew that, and I knew I was going to get 20 minutes. So I just thought to myself, right, when you do get that 20 minutes, just make an impact. And it wasn't that I didn't want to start the game, because I did, but I didn't. The team were doing well, and who am I to go in and knock on his door and say they're winning every week, but I want to play? And I kind of was scoring goals when I was coming on, so I was almost enjoying it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like your career in reverse. You know, as you're a youngster, you're hoping for that opportunity for 15, 20 minutes off the bench, and then at the end you're like, I'm going to get 15, 20 minutes as well. But, you know, you the Sunderland move as well, but where did the Marseille move come from?
Honestly, I do not know, and I still to this day don't know where it came from, but I was literally
different.
It was different. It was brilliant. The story is like, it was Sunday night, transfer window shut the next day, the Monday, is it like 11 o'clock on the Monday night or something like that. I'm in bed on this. I go to bed early, right? I'm in bed for like 8:30, 9 o'clock when I'm playing. So it's just a weird. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm in bed and my phone keeps going, and the missus is like, she woke me up and was like, your phone is like non-stop. It's your agent. You better answer that. But I hadn't even tried to get away.
Nothing even during the day.
I hadn't even tried to get away the whole transfer window. I wasn't playing at the time because Sam was playing one up front. He was playing Jermaine up front on his own. Yeah. And we were just playing wingers. So I was like, it's one of the things. I'll get back in the team. I'll try. I answered the phone at 11 o'clock at night, and he's like, would you go to Marseille? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need to phone you back. So I've hung up the phone. I'm like, sat up on my bed and I like to the wife. He just asked me to go to Marseille, and she's like, you've got to go. And I'm like, so I put it in my group chat to my mates. I've just been asked to go to Marseille. Should I go? And all he named straight there, you better go. You better
be
go.
Jinky, say I'm coming with you.
You better go. What time's the plane leaving? So I phoned the agent back and I'm like, listen, I'll go. And he's like, right, take a bag into training tomorrow. So I still had to go to training, so I still didn't know what was happening. He's like, dress as if you're going for a medical, basically, do you know what I mean? So I've turned up to training with a little shot and all that on. The boys are like, what are you doing? I've got my wee travel bag and all that. Put it in. Miss had to drop me off at training because obviously I was flying away straight away. So I know all this, but no one does. So I'm like bagging the thing and that. I can see Big John O'Shea laugh.
See down.
You got a date later? My wife's picking me up. So I went, got changed into my gear and that, and somebody came down to the gaffer, weren't you? And I thought, here's here now. Still not said a word to anyone, I've not. So I go up and Big Sam's sitting behind his desk and he's like, come in. So I went and he's like, you don't want to go there, do you? And I'm like, what, south of France? I said, raining here every day, of course I do. So he's like, right, you need to leave it with me. He said, you don't need to train today. He was like, just go and sit in the canteen. He says, I need to try and get someone in before I can let you go.
That's the worst thing, isn't it?
I'm like, seriously.
As if he didn't know.
Yeah, as if he didn't know. So he's like, he's outside at training. I'm looking outside all the time. He's on his phone constantly, this full training session. So I'm like, surely it's sorted. Comes in, he'll ask me into his office. I go in, he's like, can I go? Can I get MD? And I'm like, you're joking. I was like, you could tell by my face, I'm fuming, but I didn't want to like kick up a fuss because if I stay, I need to stay.
Yeah.
So then he's like, right, give me 2 minutes. He goes back, he calls me back and he's like, right, you can go. I don't know what he's done in that 2 minutes. He's probably just moved a few things about in his desk and then said, right, come back in, you can go. So he let me go. I went downstairs. His office is above the changing room. I went downstairs. We had loads of French boys at the time, like Jonas Kabul and all that. And so I went downstairs, like, lads, I'm away. And I'm like, what? I said, I'm going to Marseille. All the French boys have picked me up and they're all banging on the wall. He's a office above. I'm like, oh no, man. He's going to be fuming at me.
We're all celebrating for you.
Aye. So then, yeah, they sent a plane over.
Huge football club though.
Massive, massive. You should have seen the signing though, man. It was honestly like something out of The Godfather. I've walked into the owner's office to sign. There's about 8 of them in there smoking cigars. They're all drinking. There's just smoke constant. I'm like going through the smoke trying to find the owner to sign my thing. It was mad.
And how was the whole experience? Did you play the cup final?
Played in the cup final, yeah. We played PSG in the cup final.
Who was the manager?
He was a Spanish guy, Michel, they would call him. But he was. It was weird because he didn't speak English. Great. He didn't speak French, so he'd stand up at the front and do his team talk in Spanish. There'd be a guy next to him speaking French to the whole team. I'd be sat up the back with this English interpreter. He'd be telling me what he was saying. I was like, this is carnage. I wouldn't find out until 5 minutes later what he'd actually said 5 minutes ago. It was mad.
But the cup final and that, like, I mean, that PSG team, it was
It was Zlatan and all that. Yeah, it was Thiago Silva. It was brilliant. My first game, when I signed the Monday. My first game was a Friday night game. It was PSG at home at our place. That was the first game. I came on. I remember I came on and it was a corner to them. So they said to me, go on, Mark Cavani. So I was like, all right, sweet. So I went on.
Squad.
No, I went on. I put my hand on Cavani, just like obviously marking him. And Cavani does that. So when he feels the hand on him, he looks at me and does. Who's that?
Who are you?
And there's a video of it as well, me touching Cavani, and he does.
Get
who's
off.
that guy? And then the last game was obviously the French Cup final, yeah. Against PSG, we got beat. I think that was Zlatan's last ever game for them.
Yeah.
That's when I'm sure his kids ran on the pitch and walked him off.
He can
So
do
we
it
were
once.
waiting for 10 minutes for
He
him
can do it
getting-
once. Come back, Sheffield. Obviously, back to Sunderland, but you end up Sheffield Wednesday. We'll touch on what's going on there right now. But how good a club Sheffield Wednesday?
It was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed
For you?
it. I wanted to stay. It was the
seasons?
first time I've ever stayed at a club for the full contract. I wanted to stay there.
Yeah.
I wanted to stay, but obviously the COVID had hit and the club was going through, and it still is. But he'd the contract that they'd offered me before COVID had hit to, and the one when they offered me when I come back was like night and day. So it was Stoke.
So, by the way, you hit the nail on the head earlier. It is all about the money.
Aye. Stoke came knocking on the door, so I had to go. But no, it was it just wasn't. I couldn't. It was like a 75% wage cut, so it was
No chance.
no one in the right mind.
But what do you make it? What's going on right now? I mean, obviously, you've seen that club. It's like doing really well. Good players in and around there. Right now, what do you make it? Because you obviously still speak to some of the boys there right
it's
now.
tough to watch, to be honest with you, because the fan base is unbelievable. Honestly, the people, like my youngest was born there. It was brilliant. I honestly really enjoyed it there. But like I said, it's just a shame that what they're going through there now. I've not asked too many questions. Obviously, wee Baz is probably getting peppered with questions all the time, but it's not nice to see, is it?
It's become hard, isn't it? Especially with even the situation with the manager and stuff like that.
That's what I mean.
You know,
Baz speaks highly of him as well.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Really good manager. I've heard a lot of good things, but again, no turn up to training and then turning back up and the lads not wanting you there. It's become a tough situation for that whole football.
Yeah.
And like I say, I had never played at Hillsborough until, I think, where was I? I was at Reading, and I went there, and then I realised that, and it was similar to Leeds, like how big the clubs are. You know the big clubs, but when you go to the stadium, the atmosphere was incredible. And I think, you know, it's a shame that a club like that has managed to get itself into the situation it is. But, you know, I think once somebody takes that over, you know, you could probably see that club now maybe propelling back up like Leeds did. But, you know, they need to get it sorted quickly because...
He's done a lot of good things for the club.
Yeah.
But obviously it's just...
put his own name on his stand?
Aye. But, you know, like the club got to like the playoff final, playoff semis the year after, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he did invest in it a lot, but he's obviously not sustained that, and that's what the fans want and deserve.
What was your favourite part of your career?
Probably the last 2 years.
Was it really?
Yeah, honestly. And I said that before, it's probably easy for me to say because it's so raw and it was just them, but honestly it was. I think everyone in my life personally could see that as well, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously it was because we had success as well, and my last bit of success
Superbowl adverts.
Exactly, Channing Tatum stroking my face. But it was just
documentaries.
It was ran. If they had a training ground, you would think it was a Premier League team. The way it was ran and all the stuff that came with it, and
I think the 2 trips to Vegas helped.
That did help as well.
Were they sort of partial win bonuses? Were there any? The Vegas thing.
They were just. It was basically just like, I think the year before I was there, they got promoted obviously and went to Vegas, and then when the year I got there, were like, if we get promoted again, we're going again. The owners have said it was just like that. And when I mean you don't spend a penny, you do not spend a penny. And I've been to Vegas with like groups of lads who like to spend pennies, and this blows everything out the water. Honestly, I've never seen it like it.
Like, give us a rundown. Superbowl, how was that?
The advert?
Yeah.
It was mad. We literally got a text about 2 days before saying, you have been picked for an advert for the Super Bowl. All right, sweet. Sweet. Like, don't know anything about it. Just turn up. We can't tell you who it's with yet. So we didn't even know who it was with. And then, obviously, about a day before, we got a little wind that it was Channing Tatum. We were like, all right, sweet, what are we doing? So we came into the stadium, and the away change room was all set up, like, with all the props and that. And we were like, what's going on here? And I still didn't know my role at the time. They were just like, Stephen, can you sit on that bit of tape there on the floor and pretend you're tying your shoelaces? And I was like, all right, sweet, my boots. He's like, don't half tie them because Channing's going to slide in between your legs and tie them for you. I'm like, all right. They're like, just look confused. I was like, I'm good at that. It's easy for me, that just look confused. So I'm just like, looking on here. And it went mad. It was funny. It was a good day, a long day.
Yeah.
Aye.
What about the documentary? That's
just literally every day. Well, yeah, every other day, maybe every day they're there. And they're
strange?
At the start, maybe a wee bit, because you get mic'd up for training. So you're chatting away and you get mic'd up, but as soon as you don't want something said, you just say an explicit, and then they can't put it out there. Do you know what I mean? You just say, if you say something, you're like, oh no, you just start swearing, and then they can't put it out there, so you're all right. But no, it became natural, and you knew they were there, and you knew all the staff that worked in it, so that they were just part of the squad, really. They're kind of part of the team. Mm-hmm. So it was good.
You in the documentary with Brendan Rodgers one?
I was in the Brendan Rodgers. I was in the Blue Heaven at Rangers as a young kid.
That's right.
I was in that.
You were,
and then I was part of the Liverpool one at the time. Yeah, I was probably. I was in that envelope, I think. You know what I mean?
I'll let you in a wee seat. There was nobody in that envelope.
I know.
There was nobody in that.
It was one of the worst kidologies I've ever seen. So, but yeah, it's like Fletch says, it just becomes normal. Like people walking around with cameras and that was just there. But a lot of clubs are doing it now, aren't they? And it's trying to see behind the scenes. And some clubs want it, some clubs don't. I think Man United they had one lined up, but Amaron didn't want it, and it's not happened. But I think it's good. I quite enjoyed it. Sunderland as well. Were you part of Sunderland?
I wasn't. No, I was after. I was after it.
It's nice to watch them in that. Arsenal, I said a couple as well.
I think the Wrexham one would be better if they had a training ground.
Yeah,
because they would have cameras set up in places.
So where do you train in the stadium or local
So we
parks?
get changed in the stadium, and we get trained. Our training ground is the old Wrexham training ground, but the Wales Federation, they bought it off them when they were struggling, and now they're trying to sell it back to them. You don't even
10 times the time.
Exactly.
But what do you think Martin O'Neill would have said if he was wanting a documentary?
What do you mean?
A Celtic one. Would Martin have bought into that?
I don't think that would have happened.
No, no chance.
I don't think he'd have bought into that. No, not in any way, shape, or form.
He's doing a lot of media work right now.
He
He might have been a changed man.
He might like it.
He might have a changed man. Listen, every single one of us have obviously represented a country. What did it? Yeah, you have. You still have. The one off. What did it mean? What did it mean to you to represent Scotland?
I loved it. Obviously, I had a wee spell away from it, but
we're touching that. I was coming to that. I
thought I'd get
I was coming in gently.
Is that the reason why I'm here? Because I was sat beside him when that happened.
Well, you can.
The worst person to be sitting beside when that happened.
I'll never forget his debut. I think it was his debut, but I'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah, honestly, it was brilliant. Obviously, I was one of the English lads that played for Scotland with a Scottish accent for some reason, but it was brilliant. Yeah, honestly, scoring obviously a couple of hat tricks as well always helps.
One of 5 people.
Aye. So yeah, no, it was good.
Who's the other?
Snoddy's got
Dennis Law's definitely one. There's only 5 people scored. 5 people scored 2 or more hat tricks. You're one of them. Dennis Law's another one. Can't remember. You beat me.
Did McGinn got 2 now?
Yeah, I think he is he?
McGinn maybe 2 now.
2 against the same team, no?
So did
you're at Cyprus.
That was me.
Cyprus.
Maybe 6 and maybe John McGinn's added to that as well.
Did you get a hat trick?
No. Scotland, no.
No.
Charlie, Faroe Islands. Remember the Faroe Islands at the end? Was that your debut?
Faroe Islands was my
Faroe Islands.
Well, you know that is his debut.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
the story's
It's
brilliant.
brilliant.
Go on.
You beat the Faroes.
I don't know if I played against the Faroes.
So you've got the pitch, it's tiny, and then over the back, it's straight into the sea.
Oh yeah.
So we're all on the bench. We're all on the bench. Charlie, you know how Charlie loves a shot for the halfway line.
Of course he does.
So all you had to do was
We've done it at Rangers as well, didn't we?
We just had to probe him. Had to
go on, have a shot.
Charlie, seriously. See, as soon as you get on him, just shoot. First thing he does, bang, out his left foot and boom, straight into the sea.
First game for Scotland.
Straight into the sea. Scotland debut, straight
Alex McLeish
straight into the sea.
Shaking his head.
Yeah, they're all laughing in that.
Oh, what a boy, man. What a boy. But listen, there was a period you think, how you look back at that, regret it now. We'll touch on that a bit. Why did you come to that decision? What the background behind it?
Well, we all know what the story was. Obviously, the 4-6.
We do, but the viewers don't.
The 4-6 formation. So me and Charlie get papped in the stand.
We were actually
in the stand, and obviously he's the last person you need to be put in the stand with.
You've taught him well. He's then passing on.
That was in the stand with him. I was just raging at the fact I thought I could have made an impact in that game, and obviously he didn't. So it was one of them. And do I regret it now? Aye, probably should have reacted better, but. Listen, you learn from your mistakes, and we both spoke about it after it. We both cleared the air, and I was back in.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. You know, everybody had said at the time. Well, Craig Levein definitely said that you should have phoned him, but I don't think it's a player's responsibility to phone a national or any manager, especially a national team manager, and demand to come back up. Do you feel as if he should have handled it a lot better?
I've never actually sat down and we did speak about obviously me coming back in, but we've never had a conversation now when we're both obviously. Older, or I am anyway. Do you know what I mean?
We've got him here. He's going to come in and join us.
But yeah, I don't know. Listen, we all handled it our own way. It obviously never helped for two a bit years, but probably should have had a lot more caps. Yeah, I had 33 and 10 goals or something. So no bad ratio. The ratio's all right. It should have been better.
I think, like you say, I think there has to be a mediator between the two, and ultimately, Craig. We know Craig and. He was quite stubborn, but
Martin stepped in. Martin was immediate.
I think you actually become with experience. You learn, don't you? As a senior player and as a manager, you have to try and get a point. But to have, it's not like we were blessed with top players all the time. Do you know what I mean? So to have somebody like that out of squad for over 2 years, it's a tough situation to have. I think you have to try and bring it closer quicker, and yeah, we might have been in the tournament quicker as well. But
did it hurt you?
At the time, it was more me being angry. Now I'm like, see when you see your caps and you see other people getting a lot more than you, thinking I should have more caps than that.
That's what
which is frustrating.
That was my one regret.
Yeah, it is.
What about you speak there about Martin? How big a role?
Martin helped. He as soon as I signed, obviously he's been an international manager anyway, so he knew straight away. As soon as I signed, he done, right, can we get you back in the Scotland squad now? And I was like, yeah, I'm 100%. And I think obviously scoring 6 and 6 in my first 6 games for Sunderland helped. That's the reason they phoned, I think.
To be fair, imagine you were at Celtic at the time as well. He could have got you back in that England squad.
Well, Sven Goran Eriksson came to watch me in the Champions League game
after 10 minutes.
Well, it was against Juventus where I probably had my
goals,
best
two
ever
goals.
game, and he still didn't pick me.
That's when you
So,
know.
Can't do much more than that,
no,
can you?
No. But no, I well, everybody knows my sort of story as well. With
Does it hurt
Glenn
you, though?
Hoddle. I'm very similar to Stephen, and you know, I know what I did was wrong. I shouldn't have done it, but in principle, my thought process, I was right to tell Glenn Hoddle where to shove it. But then, you know, you can't. You know, I shouldn't have done it. I know that, and over the years, sort of dust settles, and I've spoken to him about it. I apologise to him. Really, I had no right to do that, but you know, still at the time, I was 100% clear in my mind that that I should have been picked, and he was wrong. But that was, you know, you shouldn't sort of challenge authority in the way that I did, and Stephen did. This is a regret. What was your standout international moment?
My favourite goal was the Poland goal. I remember it. Scored against Poland. Obviously the hat-tricks were nice, but I don't know, there was something about that goal. I think I had a kind of point to prove a little bit. And scored a nice little goal at Hampden with it, and that did help. Did
you feel as if the Steven Fletcher that came back into international setup was a far better player, mature?
Yeah, 100%, aye. 100%. I think so anyway, that's just me. But I think when I came back from France, I felt like I was a better player.
Mm-hmm.
Just the style of play kind of helped me be a bit more technical, dropping in that, and I never really used to that. I should just be a target man. And yeah, it did help me. I felt like that anyway.
We're now seeing a trend of a lot of. I mean, it was alien to a lot of British-based players to go abroad. We're now seeing a lot more doing it. Would you advise, or even a young Steven Fletcher now, would you have went abroad a lot earlier than what you did?
If I got the chance, yeah, 100%. Aye. I don't think I should have. How do I say it? Like, I didn't appreciate it enough.
Yeah.
Now looking back, I wish I appreciated where I was a lot more. Like I was at Marseille, it's one of the biggest European clubs.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate it. I think it was because it was a loan, and I hadn't been sent out on loan, but you're a Sunderland player, you think I can help them.
Well, you just need to look at the reaction from the French boys in the dressing room of what it meant to them for you going to Marseille. I'd like to tell you how big a club that was.
I think that was him celebrating me leaving.
We've done the same with Charlie left Rangers.
But no, I just, that's my only regret about the Marseille thing, is me not appreciating it enough, because it was such a big club, and I loved it there. It was great. They offered me a contract after it, because I was out of contract, and they offered me a contract to stay. And I turned it down and went to Chef Wed, but I think it was because my wife was due with her third child at the time, and she was ready to pop. And I took the kind of thing that she'd be better back home in England, and just kind of settled, do you know what I mean?
So what's next for Steven Fletcher?
I don't know. I would like to stay in football in some way. Obviously I'm on the coaching journey. I've done that. I enjoyed helping people near the end of my career. So if I could do that, yeah. But I'm not 100% sure if I'm finished yet or not. I'm still, like I said, it's scary to push that button and say, like, that's me. Because as soon as you put it out there, I don't want to be that guy that puts it out there and then
I think,
3 weeks later, you're back playing again.
I think I knew I was ready, and you know you're ready. But I still think if you've got any doubt, I don't think you can do it. I think if you still feel there's a little bit there burning, I think then, because there'll come a point where you think, no, I'm ready, and that might be another year's time, but ultimately it's got to be right for you, isn't it?
I think it was because of the way it ended at Wrexham. Yeah. I felt like I still could have played. Personally, I feel like I could have still helped them, especially even in the Championship. People might say you're daft, but I do think I could have.
Is there still, I mean, we know football's a crazy world, but you've accepted that, 20 minutes here and there. Is there still a possibility that could materialise again, or is it totally gone?
But Wrexham?
Oh,
no, that's gone.
Totally gone.
Aye.
Totally gone.
I don't think he would even if he did need someone, I think he would probably
buy somebody.
Because it's almost like you were saying that you made a mistake in it.
Yeah, I know about that. Sometimes, yeah.
It's like someone saying,
in terms of retirement, did you just know?
Well, I got a head injury, so that's why I retired. The Aston Villa fans were devastated.
And you? I know what you're saying, right? But I mean, I was obviously off the back of scoring like 20 odd goals for Command the season before, and I knew my game time the following season was going to be limited. because, you know, like Eamon Brothy and that were coming through, but it was hard for me to accept. It's hard for me to accept coming off the back of scoring 20 odd goals. That's me finished. You're always like, I'm going to go again. And the next season, it was like 7 or 8 goals. It was just dwindling away. And I always felt as if I should have went out that season.
What, the 20?
But I'm probably sitting here now. If I had went out that season, the back of my mind, what could I have done the following season? And I think when you've been scoring goals, you always think, I can still do it, I can still do it, I can still do it. But the reality is your body is telling you enough's enough.
But your opportunities to come into this the media.
Well, that was a big. That was a big.
That was your point, wasn't it?
So I said for me, I'd obviously. I mean, it's probably a topic for another day, but I'd obviously looked towards, you know, the coaching side. I'd finished my pro licence, but at that time I was prepared to go and kick on and be coach, manager, whatever it was going to be at that time. But, you know, the opportunity of the media work started, and, you know, I felt as if, you know, I enjoyed it, I got a buzz out of it, and I've went in this path. You know, and I think that you've had to work hard at it to get there, but at the same time, you know, you're there's no right or wrong path, is there? You know, and that's where, I mean, you're obviously doing your podcast as well with the golf and stuff like that as well. So that's why I was interested to see where you're at right now in terms of.
No, we're there's a wee few things in the back burner now with the golf stuff and that. Obviously, one of my mates, Big Phil Jagielka, me and him are doing a few things now. So whether it materialises or not, it's another thing.
I need to wait and see.
He has got 2 of the biggest superstars that can get him into doors and that. If you need that.
The phone call after it was, by the way, you've released, but if you want to play with any American YouTubers, I can sort you out. I was like, cheers, brilliant. Thanks for that. But no, I'm sure Rob and Ryan would always be on the other end of the phone if I needed.
But that says a lot about you as a person as well. You know, usually when clubs just say, right, that's you done, but they're still keeping contact to you and wanting to help you.
I had a phone call with Humphrey Kerr. I don't know if you came across Humphrey at Wrexham. He's an actor as well and a comedian, but he's on the board there. And he does all the ambassador roles, and obviously it was like raw. I'd been released 2 days beforehand, and he's on the phone. He's like, "Listen, there is an ambassador role here for you." I was like, "Hopefully I got released 2 days." Like, oh, but do you know what I mean? They do want me to come back and do stuff like that, which is obviously I will do, but just need a wee bit more time for that dust to settle.
Before we finish, I've got 5 questions for you.
Go on.
Best stadium you played in?
Marseille.
Funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate. Ollie Rathbone.
Mixed boy.
Brilliant, mate.
Any pre-match superstitions?
I just put all my left stuff on first. Weirdly, I don't know why.
Football idol?
Chris Sutton.
That was Stevie Gerrard back in the day. I was a Liverpool fan, had a season ticket.
Favourite goal you've ever scored?
Probably the cup final one at Hibs, my first one. Just scoring in a cup final at a young age was brilliant.
Magnificent. Well, there we go.
Easy
Steven
as
Fletcher.
that.
Done and dusted, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.